today we will be working on dialogues and why dialogues are very important. Now, obviously, when you're writing a story, you need to work on some conversations. Now, these conversations are going to get a lot of imagination, color in your story. So that is why dialogues are important, and to understand what is happening, what type of character it is, what the character is about to do. So basically, the whole story is dependent on the dialogues. Until and unless there are no dialogues, it will be very difficult for the audience to understand what is happening in the story. No, it doesn't matter if the story is written, it is a textual format, or is it in a movie format, or is it in an audio format. Okay, you need to have some dialogues, because these dialogues, they give a very fun and a color part to the story. Okay, now the dialogues are basically according to the characters. You are going to work on the dialogues. Now, you will notice in many types of novels, in many types of stories, based on how the character is, their personality, their build up, their religion, their authenticity. Okay, based on that, even their accent, the way that they speak dialogue depends. Even you might have watched different types of movies and shows. There also, the according to the character's requirement and the character's build, or the 3D sketch of the character, they have different types of accent, different types of talking, different types of pronouncing a particular word. Okay, so that is why dialogues need to be worked upon according to the characters. Okay, now the dialogues also help us to understand what the situation is. Okay, and how the situation is going to turn, what is going to happen in the situation, what the characters are going to speak, how are they going to react. So that is why it is very important that the dialogues are set according to the situations also. Okay, so if a situation, if say the characters are discussing about a examination, okay, that is, maybe it's tomorrow, the examination is on the next day, and they're discussing about it. So now the conversation should be according to the situation, according to the discussion. So now the dialogues are in such a way that the audience will come to know, the readers will come to know that, okay, the characters are talking about the upcoming examination. Okay, so that is why we need to work on our dialogues. Yeah, also, it is very important to create an understanding of the story. So that is why dialogues are created. Also, these dialogues help the audience understand the personality of the characters. Okay, so now if suppose a character is very extrovert, so how they are speaking, how they are using different types of words, are they cutting other people in between while they are speaking. Okay, they may, because extroverts, they tend to become very short tempered, maybe, for example. Okay, so how that person is speaking when they're angry, what is their pronunciation, what is their feeling, and that feeling comes out of the dialogue. Okay, so this is the thing that we need to work on. Now, what is monologue? Monologue is basically one character is going to speak a very long dialogue. Okay, that is monologue. So a narrator can speak a monologue. Maybe a person who is introducing, say, a story. Okay, so that person can speak a monologue. Maybe one of the character in the story is, maybe the protagonist of the story wants to talk about something. So again, that sentence can be, or that dialogue can be very long. So basically, that is a monologue. Okay, now monologues can be of two types. Now comes your monologues. So your monologues are basically of two types. So one is internal and the other is external. Okay, internal monologues are basically whenever you are thinking. Okay, so when a character thinks, okay, so that there is a voiceover. Okay, so basically whatever they are thinking, even the audience can listen to, or they can read it. Okay, so that is basically, it becomes a voiceover, and it is a long one. Okay, external is basically whenever there is a conversation going on between two or three characters. Okay, and the one of the character has a long, say not long, very long dialogue. Okay, so that is your external monologue. Clear now for everyone. Now, same here, we have inner dialogue and outer dialogue. This is the two types, okay? Same here, inner dialogue is where when you're thinking, when the dialogue is in the head. Okay, so there is going to be a voiceover of that same character, and you can either hear it if you're watching the story, or you can read it if you're reading it. Okay, so that is an inner dialogue. Outer dialogue is whenever there's a conversation happening between 2 to 3 people. So that is your outer dialogue. Clear now for everyone? For example, let me give you a situation. Okay, a person is getting ready for the examination. Okay, they are studying now. Now there are some thoughts that you think, okay, fine, now this I'm going to do this as soon as I enter the exam hall, then I'm going to write this, then I'm going to start this question first, then maybe this section first I will start, then this section. So a person is imagining all these things, and while imagining, the same person is speaking also. That means in the voice they are speaking. Not, you cannot see whenever you're watching that person, you're watching that particular scene, the person is not speaking, but the voice inside their head is speaking. Clear? Now let us work on our quotations. Now when we work on the quotations, usually we use double tags. Okay, this one, this is the double tag. This we use in US English. Okay, UK English we use one tag, this one, this one. Okay, this is for UK English. We usually follow the double tag, and most of the time this is supposed to be correct only. Okay, clear for everyone? Now let me tell you about the first. One second, let me open my this thing so that I don't miss any of the punctuations. Okay. Okay, so here first we are going to work on the all the punctuations, and then I will take you back here. Okay. So now first thing is we are always going to start our dialogue with a open dialogue tag. Okay, and then we are going to close it with a closed dialogue tag. Okay, so now let me give you an example. So I am going out. Okay, and now you are going to give a full stop here. Full stop, and then dialogue tag closes. Okay, clear now for everyone? This is open dialogue tag and closed dialogue tag. When the dialogue ends, that time it is closed dialogue tag. Okay, now first thing is, let us work on Richa said. Okay, now a comma will come. Whoever says anything, then you have to give a dialogue. Say said, or say Richa asked. Okay, whatever it is, whatever is going to be the the action, the verb, you have to put that verb and then comma, and then give a space, start with the dialogue tag. Okay, so what are you guys up to? Okay, now this is a question. Now your question mark will come, and then your dialogue tag. Okay, clear for everyone? Now when we say Richa invited all of us for the game. Okay, then here we are continuing the dialogue. Okay, then it is going to be comma. Ram said, again, because here we used Ram said. Okay, here we use this Ram said. We are still continuing. Ram is only saying all these things. Now Ram is continuing. So Ram said, comma. Now dialogue tag. But I was not available that day. Okay, full stop, full stop, and your dialog tag closes. Okay, clear now for everyone? Okay, whenever there is a continuation in the dialogue, and then the same person is saying the dialogue. Okay, so first they said this sentence, and then the sentence is continued, the dialogue is continued, then again you are going to open the dialogue tag, put that sentence, and then dialogue tag closes. Okay, clear for everyone? Now one more, same. Richa invited Ram and me for the games. Okay, then again there is going to be a comma. Sorry. Okay, comma, dialog tag closes, and then you are going to say James said. Okay, and full stop. You can write the dialogue as like this also. Instead of saying this one, Richa asked, okay, here you will say the dialogue first, and then you will say who said what. Okay, so this also you can work on while writing a dialogue. Okay, now here you can say like this also. So James said, and then comma, and then your dialogue will come here. But here full stop will be removed. Sorry, comma will be removed and full stop will be there. Okay, clear? Now let us work on our punctuations. Okay, one more thing. Whenever a dialogue is interrupted, okay, so for example, say Richa invited us. Now you have to use a longer dash. You remember we discussed about M dash. So M dash is a longer dash. Right now in my notepad that long dash will not come. Okay. Otherwise a longer dash is known as M dash, EM. Okay. This one. Okay. This is called as your M dash. Okay. So now if there is this M dash is there. So suppose someone interrupts the person while they are speaking. Okay. So that time this M dash will be there, and then because they got interrupted, that time they had to stop saying that particular dialogue, so you have to close that dialogue. Okay, then if they are continuing it, okay, so Richa invited us, and maybe that person got interrupted, but after that they again continued. So again you have to open the dialogue tag for the games tonight. Okay, and then full stop and dialogue tag. Okay, clear for everyone? Now suppose for example, if the person is interrupted, but whoever interrupted them, they are going to speak. So for example, we will take the same example. Okay, James got interrupted by Ram, and he continued okay, and then Ram's dialogue will be there. So whatever his dialogue is, say no, I am not available tonight. Okay, dialogue tag closes, and then the full stop, and then the dialogue tag closes. Okay, clear now? It is going to be closed. I forgot to put that. Okay, and then you can say James, or if you are going to say James said, then it is going to be comma here, and then James said. and then full stop. Okay. Okay, so let me now work on the punctuations. Okay, now punctuation is you have your question mark, full stop, comma, hyphen, okay, and exclamation mark. So we are going to work on that. Now M dash, you all know where we can work. So whenever there is an interruption in the dialogue, that time you are using M dash, that is long dash. Okay, so now let us work on our full stop. So whenever the dialogue is spoken, at that is the end, we are going to put the full stop. So basically you are going to write like this. Richa said, let's go out tonight. Okay, full stop and dialogue tag closes. This is going to be inside the dialogue tag. Okay, clear? Now your comma is going to be, say, Richa said, comma is going to be there, dialogue tag opens. So whenever there is a list of item, I am going to buy bread, comma, butter, comma, and eggs from the grocery store. Okay, then if it is going to be, say, comma, full stop, and then dialogue tag closes. Okay, another way of using your comma, say if the same dialogue is there, so let me just copy this. Okay, now if Richa is going to say this, then Richa said while picking her shopping bags. Okay, another way is say I am going, second, let me open the dialogue tag, and then I'm going out tonight. Okay, comma, dialogue tag closes, said Ram. Okay, comma, dialogue tag opens, it is going to be a great office party. Full stop, dialogue tag closes. Okay, clear now for everyone? These are the three ways how you can use your commas. Now your question mark. Now if the question is in the dialogue. So for example, Richa asked, where are you going? Okay, so this is a question in the dialogue, so not the situation. Richa is asking some other person, where are they going? So it is going to be a question mark inside and then the dialogue tag. Okay, now if the question is is related to the whole situation. So for example, did the door shut? Okay, we are going to say Richa asked Ram, or say James, okay, did the door shut every time when Raj says, or say Raj said. Okay, we have to, because we are using did. So Ram said, I am going out, and then this, and then because it is a whole situation, so now Richa is asking the whole question, so it is going to be a question mark after the dialogue tag closes. Okay, clear now for everyone? So the dialogue which Ram also said and Richa is also saying, so that time the dialogue tag will be inside and then there will be a question mark. Okay, because this question is for the whole situation, not because, see, the situation is there, something is happening in the situation, and someone is asking about the whole situation. So that time the question mark will be outside the dialogue tag. Okay, if a normal question is there, then the question mark will be inside the dialogue tag. Now one more, your exclamation mark. Okay, the exclamation mark is whenever we, whenever there is a surprise or somebody is angry or somebody is calling out someone's name, so that time you use exclamation marks. Now whenever you say Richa shouted angrily, or say whatever adjective you want to use. Okay, angrily at say angrily, whatever. Okay, and then Ram, where were you? Okay, question mark, and then your dialogue tag closes. Okay, so right now you are using your exclamation mark in such a way because you're calling out someone's name, or you are surprised. So for example, say, here comes my my bus for my parents' house. Okay, so here you are using your exclamation marks. Okay, now when the whole dialogue is only the exclamation mark, for example, say 4. Okay, exclamation mark, your dialogue tag closes. Say, she shouted as she hit the boundary for the first time. Okay, so now this is the dialogue. 4, she is very excited. The person who is speaking this is very excited, and then this is the whole dialogue. So here itself you are going to put the exclamation mark, dialogue tag opens and closes. Okay, clear? One more. Congrats to the, here you are going to use one, because right now we are learning the dialogue tags using US English. Okay, so whenever you are working on a title, okay, so that time you are going to use the single dialogue tag. So congrats to the lady in blue, and then this thing closes like this, and then there is a exclamation mark, and then this is going to be your dialogue tag, open, closes. Say, congratulated the say the captain. Okay, so here it is going to be this one. Okay, clear? Now your this thing will come hyphen. Okay, hyphen is not your M dash. Hyphen is a shorter dash. Okay, that is your hyphen. M dash is usually your longer dash. Okay, so whenever, say, suppose you're writing, say something like marketing automation in your Word document. Let me open my Word document. I'll show it to you. M dash. So now we have marketing automation. Now we will put a hyphen here, and then see, as soon as I write the alphabet, or say the next word, this thing changes to a longer hyphen. Okay, so this is called as the M dash, this one. Okay, clear now for everyone? Otherwise, this is my hyphen. Clear? See, can you see the difference between these two, the length difference? Yeah, okay. Now, right now, we are talking about the hyphen, okay, not the M dash. M dash, you already know what when you can use it whenever somebody interrupts a particular dialogue. Okay, so now whenever there is a hyphen, you can use a hyphen. Even without a hyphen, the dialogue is okay. There is no problem as such. Hyphen is not compulsory to use, but if you want to use it, this is how you can use. Say Richa said, dialogue tag opens, I can do this. Okay, dialogue tag closes, then there is a hyphen. Okay, and that's how she became the world's best chef. Okay, you can use like this also. Okay, your hyphen. And if you don't want to use a hyphen, just leave it like this. Not a problem. Okay, clear? Or you can use a hyphen here. Yes, clear? Is it clear for everyone? So hyphen is not very, very compulsory to use, but if you want, you can use it. Okay. Now, are all this is clear for everyone? All the punctuations and everything, the way that we are going to open our dialogue tags, close our dialogue tags, then when to use M dash, when to use small dash, when to use question marks, full stop, and your commas are very important. Okay, because commas, we need to use it number of times in a particular dialogue. So please be very, very, very whenever you are working on your dialogues, on your commas. Okay, and dialogue tag open, dialogue tag close makes your dialogue very, very sharp. If you don't close your dialogue tag, then people will think that only this person is speaking. Maybe some other person has started speaking, but still that confusion will be there. Like just now, what happened with me, because I did not close the dialogue tag, so Mary was confused. Okay, clear now for everyone? Now, see, this is what, whenever you are using a tag, so every dialogue, every piece of dialogue, okay, even a single person is speaking a dialogue, then there is some gap, and then again the same person is going to speak, then both the dialogues are going to have open tags also and close tag. Then the next dialogue is supposed to have open tag and close tag. Okay, clear? Now, there are many writers who don't use dialogue tags. So that is what I told you. It is going to confuse the readers. Okay, readers will not be able to understand when the dialogue, who is speaking the dialogue. Okay, because they might not know that the person who was speaking the first dialogue has already finished the dialogue. Okay, now whenever you are working on your dialogues, please remember, according to the character, this I told you earlier also, according to the character, you need to work on your dialogues. The way that your character is, their personality, their physical feature, their voice, okay, their voice modulation, accordingly you have to work on the dialogues. Okay, now there's something called as anachronisms. Okay, now anachronisms are basically whenever you are using different types of punctuations, okay, in your dialogue. So something like what's up, so there is a you have this apostrophe s. Okay, so that time these are different types of your exclamation marks that you're using. So for example, you are using hyphens, then that also comes under anachronisms. Okay, so now also one more thing is, whenever you are working on anachronisms is according to the time. Okay, so suppose if you are working on a futuristic, say sci-fi types of novels, okay, so that time what type of language will be spoken. Okay, so that time you cannot use a Shakespeare English. Okay, thou, thou, thy. So you will not be able to use these type of English. So depending on the time, you need to work on the dialogues. Okay, that is also known as anachronisms. Okay, so basically the number of punctuations that you are using in a dialogue and the time, according to the time and location of your of your characters, you need to work on the dialogues also. So how the dialogues are built. In the last class, I told you about um, this guy. Which movie was that? Jab We Met and Cocktail. It is directed by one director only, same director. And the way the dialogues are, they are using a very normal English Hindi mixed type of sentences, very normal that we use in day to day life. So you can easily connect with that character. Okay, same way you have to work on it based on the time frame that you are creating the story. So suppose if the story is say today's time you are using, so use the dialogues that we use in these days, during these days. Okay, if it is going to be a historical novel, then use the dialogues or the sentences or the this also accent also. Okay, the way that people used to use that time. Okay, if you will see the difference between the dialogues in the movies also, 60s and 70s, 80s movies, sometimes 90s also, they used to use different types of words, though we could understand the words, but we will not be able to use those words in our day-to-day life. Okay, then from 2000 onwards, the movies have started using the normal language that we use. Okay, so that we can easily connect with all the characters, the actors and actresses, the characters in the story. Okay, understood what I'm trying to say? Now there are something called as I dialect. I dialect is where has anyone read Harry Potter series? Have you watched any of the movie, Harry Potter movie, any of the movie? Now there are different characters. There is one, this Hagrid is there, who's very tall, a giant. Okay, semi giant Hagrid is there. Okay, Harry Potter, Ron and Hermione are there. Okay, these are the three friends. Now you might have noticed the way that Hagrid speaks, okay, is different. The accent is different. Okay, even if you read the novel, there also the writer, the author J.K. Rowling, she has made it very clear the way that Hagrid speaks. Even while you read the dialogues, you will understand the accent is totally different. Okay, same is the case there in Ron's also. So Ron's accent is different. The way that he pronounces the words are totally different. While reading also and while watching the movie, you can see the difference. Okay, so that is basically your I dialect, where based on the authenticity, religion, or maybe the location, okay, because of these things, the character's pronunciations, the character's way of speaking differs from other characters. Okay, Hermione and Harry, they speak normal English, but when it comes to Ron, Hagrid, and there are other characters also, but these are the few characters that I remember. So these are the people who have different types of pronunciation. Okay, clear? Now see, was for was. Okay, fellow, fella for fellow, M for them. Okay, so this is where, though it is not a wrong way of using, but this shows that the accent or the pronunciation of particular words are different for that character. Okay, clear now for everyone? And now you have your whenever you're working on your dialogues, please remember, according to the characters, you need to build up your dialogues. Okay, so what your characters want to speak, how they want to speak, how long they want to speak. Okay, that all depends on the character's personality. If a character is very introvert, they might you can use a lot of monologue. Okay, where the person is thinking, most of the time they are thinking, because they're introvert, they like to talk to themselves. Okay, I'm just giving you an example. Also, an introvert person can talk in monotones also. Monotones are basically using one word. Okay, so basically if someone asks them a question, how are you? I'm fine. Okay, or they say fine, or say okay. Okay, so you are using monotones there. So based on the person's personality, you need to work on the dialogues also, so that your audience can easily connect with them. Whenever you're writing a dialogue, that time it is not compulsory to work on the grammar. Suppose, for example, one of your character, if you're writing the novel or the story in English, okay, and you're showing a, say, a background of, say, US or UK or some other European country, okay, and the character is, is say not very good in English. So that time, if you're using a bit of wrong English also, wrong grammar also, that time it is okay. Okay. Sometimes even normal people also, they use wrong English. For example, how you doing? Okay, how you doing is a wrong English. Though that is, the sentence is, the people can understand the sentence, but still it is a wrong way to ask a question. How are you doing is correct, but how you doing is wrong, but people use this sentence. So again, you can use this sentence, not a problem. Okay, clear for everyone? Now here are some, these are some examples. I do not want to go back to boarding school. Now what happened here? The person, now if you're reading this sentence, that means how the person is saying, how Caleb is saying, I do not want to go back to the boarding school. Okay, so that means every word here, all the four words are being spoken with some pressure. And now want is where, want is the word where the person is stressing a lot. Okay, so this is what, this is not a wrong way to say that, wrong way to write. It is a correct way to write. It's just that the grammar is wrong here, but it doesn't mean the sentence is wrong or you cannot use this dialogue. Okay, clear now for everyone? Now see, because no, she said on the phone, I need a bigger sheds to store all my stuff in. Yeah, no, that's not gonna work for me. I told you what I need, and now you gotta make it happen. Now see, gotta make it happen. Stuff in, then there is some, there's some, maybe some pauses there. Yeah, no, that's not gonna work for me. Gonna. Okay. So these are the words that people use these days. Okay. Gonna is that's not going to work. Gotta is you get, you should, now you have to make it happen for me. Okay. Clear now
Yeah.
for everyone? So the
Mm.
sentences are not wrong, the dialogues are not wrong, it's just the grammar is wrong, but yes, you can obviously use it. Okay, same in your regional language also. Now see, if I, because I am a Hindi person, so I speak Hindi, this is my mother tongue. So whenever I'm writing something related to Hindi and there is a dialogue, most of the time we use some English words also, so that is called as English. Okay, Hindi English mixes English. So whenever I'm writing a dialogue, in between I'm using a a English word also, so it doesn't mean that I am the dialogue is wrong. It's just that yes, the grammar is wrong. Okay, recently I wrote a poem. I recently lost my pet, so I wrote a poem for her, and I used couple of English words also there. Okay, so that is what doesn't mean the way that you're writing is wrong. It's just that you have used a wrong grammar, but it's not wrong. Clear now for everyone? Now of course, when now this less is more is for everything, not just for your dialogues, for any content that you write. You remember the Goldilocks approach, where we discussed about that, providing a adequate information to your audience, not less, not much. Remember the Goldilocks approach? So now that is where you need to work on providing adequate information. Okay, same in your dialogues also. So whenever you're working on the dialogues, make sure that unnecessary dialogues are not there between your characters. Okay, it is very important, because see, if there are lots of dialogues, it is unnecessarily going to bore your audience and confuse them at the same time. Okay, too much of everything is very bad. Even while you're watching movies where the scenes are very stressed, okay, they're very lengthened unnecessarily, so it is going to be a useless scene, and it becomes quite boring. There is a movie that recently came, Excel, Excel something, where Sonakshi Sinha is there, and so one more girl is there. actress, what is her name? I forgot. I think Excel movie is there. Okay, the concept is really good. Two very very fat girls are there, and now they are fighting the the society to become something. People are always telling them that you are तुम तो मोटी हो, तुमसे कुछ नहीं हो पाएगा. This is what people are telling them. But they come out of that. Even their parents are like that. Okay, because they want them to. One of the girls' parents, they want her to get married because she's becoming fat day by day, and she's like, nobody's going to marry you, so it's better that you get you marry off fast. But she wants to become a cricket commentator. And then the other girl is there, who's a fashion designer, and her boyfriend cheats her. Boyfriend is with her only because of her money. And then he tells her that obviously you're so fat, I don't want to be with you, it was just because of your money that I was there. Okay, and now how they come out of that situation. Okay, and how they help each other, and they become something at the end. So it shows that it doesn't matter what size you are. The passion in your dreams, the passion that you have to follow your dreams matters. Okay, the concept is really good, but then every scene is unnecessarily, they have stretched it. So the movie became quite boring. Okay, because the lots of conversations are there. Then a lot of time there with the camera is waiting on a particular situation. Okay, so that thing is stretched out. So that is why the movie became boring. Otherwise the concept would have been very very nice. Okay, so see, this is what you need to work on in your stories also. Whenever a conversation is there, keep it short. Okay, keep it as short as you can, and keep it very very precise. Okay, so that your audience can, they are very very interested, and they want to know what is happening next. Clear enough for everyone? Now these are your tags. Okay, we love basketball. He screamed, why are you screaming? The coach asked, because I'm just so passionate about basketball, he replied. Okay, unnecessarily using lots of dialogue tags also can make your sentence, so not the dialogue tags, sorry, the punctuations, the dialogue tags also, unnecessarily using lots of them as well, can be very very it can harm your story as well. Okay, so please make sure the rules that we have just learned, use those rules and work on your dialogue tags. Okay, you can use this also, the single punctuation as well. Okay, if you want, it is not wrong, it's just that we use US English a lot. Okay, because the world accepts US English. Okay, clear for everyone? Now see, obviously she shouted, he whispered, they asked, then Ram wondered, she replied, they responded. Okay, so these are the ways that you can work on your dialogues, and then put a comma, and then dialogue tag open, write the dialogue, full stop, or whatever punctuation that you want, and then close the dialogue tag. Okay, so you can use such type of verbs here. These are the actions that the person is taking, okay, while speaking the dialogue. Okay, now every character needs to have a very very unique voice. That is what I told you when I told you about Harry Potter series. Okay, so something like where Ron, people like Ron, Hagrid are there. There are other characters also whose tone, okay, whose way of speaking is very different. Okay, there is one girl in the story where I forgot her name. She's blonde, and the character is shown that she's very much at peace with herself. She's a person who gives very very good advice, okay, when someone is in distress. And she's very, even if you see her demeanor also, she looks like that she's a very peaceful person. Okay, and the way that she speaks, even while you're reading the book, you will notice that. Okay, so each and every person in the character has a unique voice. It is very important. Okay, and make sure that that voice, that unique voice of that character is consistent, starting from the starting the novel story, and at the till the end as well. Okay, so you do not change that voice. Yes, but sometimes what happens, the situation demands. Okay, so maybe the person is very introvert, or person is very very say does not speak much, maybe not introvert, extrovert also, but does not speak much. But suppose there is a situation where they where something wrong is happening and they need to speak up. So that time, the way that they are speaking, the way that they are, talking to people, you can change that at that time. Okay, because see, with us also, we also, our voice modulation also, and the way that we speak changes according to the situation sometimes. Okay, same thing you can do with your characters as well. Okay, clear now for everyone? Now this is your inner dialogue. So something like, as I stepped onto the bus, I had to ask myself, why was I going to the amusement park today and not my graduation ceremony? Okay, talking to yourself, that is inner dialogue. Okay, thinking, your brain is thinking something. Outer dialogue is basically normal conversation. Mom, can I have a quarter so I can buy a gumball? Without skipping a beat, she responded, I have dreamed of working here my whole life. Ren, are you planning to stopping by the barbecue? Okay, so these are your normal dialogues. And inner dialogue is where you are talking to yourself. Okay, your brain is thinking about a particular dialogue, or say maybe a situation, and a voiceover is there, or that voiceover is your voice, the character's voice, not some other voice. Okay, clear?